Hi and welcome to Android Coliseum Hangout number 114. I am your host for the evening, and with us we have Ryan, Martin,
Howdy.
Savon. Hopefully we'll have a better, less glitchy week than last week.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Today's the 13th, so.
We may never get out of this. Well, let's do our best and carry on. We have a lot of different topics, wide range of topics tonight to go through. So first up, a Canadian banking app, and Martin, you're going to talk about that one.
Definitely. This week, RBC came out with their new feature where you can actually take a picture of a check back and front and set it in so that you can deposit without actually going to the bank. So that's a bonus of that, and it's going to make it easier for a lot of people that are using RBC.
Yeah, TD has had that for a long time. Brian was saying he uses it. Do you use it, Savon?
Yes. It's very easy.
I heard about it.
It didn't work with the government tax refund.
I get everything deposited automatically into my accounts.
I think that the one of them wasn't, and I went to the bank and the ATM won't take it either. So I had to go into a branch, and the girl told me, "Oh yeah, everybody's coming with these checks." The way they printed it, it didn't go through when you took the picture and scanned it.
I find on the TD one, I have to make sure that the check, because I get a lot of checks from work for reimbursements or whatever, it's a pain to go to the bank. So you have to make sure you tear the check off of that little header thing you get with it, so it's just the check square or whatever. And it can't be on a white piece of paper or a white X, so it has to be a very contrasty background to the check. And you have to take a picture of the front, flip it over, sign the back, take a picture of the back, and then it'll tell you within like an hour if it didn't work, so I have to redo it. But I have maybe one issue where it didn't work. So.
Well, I'll have to get someone to write me a check again.
I'll have to test it out.
I tend to get people to email me money, or I email money to people and they give me cash. So checks have been a long time, but that's handy. There's a lot of people that do still get checks and stuff like that. So it's
from grandma.
You'll have to let us know how good it works, how well it works, Martin.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely have to try it out and see how it works.
Yep. And next up, I haven't got Lollipop on my tablet yet, but since it's a Samsung product, I don't worry about that too much. But someone is getting Lollipop.
Definitely, a lot of the second generation Moto G are going to be getting their Lollipop very shortly, if not already on their phones. So if you have a Moto G, keep pressing that up button that's going to pop on your screen.
Actually, I say that about my Tab S, but I do think it is supposed to be getting, like the update is rolling out, just not to me yet. And then Crave TV.
Yeah,
Mark,
Crave
you're going to
TV.
talk about that.
Definitely. They went out crazy this week. They added the Chromecast feature now, so from your Android app or on your tablet, you can hit the Chromecast button, send it over to your Chromecast and you're streaming. And this is a much-needed feature that was missing from Crave TV from what I was using it, and this is making it more useful.
And just go quickly over again the Crave TV service.
Crave TV service is a service that's available in Canada and allows basically to get you your TV shows and episodes and whatnot, like if you were doing it over on Netflix, but this is basically a Canadian content version of it.
And is it $4 a month, or is it free?
I can't remember the pricing.
Something's free.
Maybe it's free, I think, with ads, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure.
For some reason, I thought I read for $4 a month, but maybe that was something else.
Show me?
It could be the subscription service.
No, Show Me was more expensive and less useful to me. Well, that's kind of nice.
I'll try it. I cut cable, so another option.
I have cable, but I would really like the CW. But I bet that's not on Crave either.
Exactly.
Anyway. I miss Supernatural. moving on, Google I/O is coming. None of us are going, but we could attend virtually, and it sounds like there's some interesting stuff coming out of it. Android M is announced. Who's really waiting for Android M?
All the bloggers are. Everybody who wants to talk about the latest and rumor and whatnot are always talking about the latest. But I mean, I to be honest with you, I mean, there's going to be so much more going on at Google I/O than just Android. I mean, Android should be just a part of it. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think I said this when Lollipop. I really don't know what the next iteration. I think they've really provided just about everything I think I would want out of Android. I don't really know much more they might have. So.
Well, I'm thinking there's a few things I could get on board with, like better battery management and stuff like that. But to me, it seems a little soon to be talking about the next version because it just, 5.1 is rolling out to some things. Some things haven't got 5.0. What do you think, Saban? You had a comment.
I think it's only about 9% of the devices that have Lollipop at the moment, so it feels like, okay, we barely have Lollipop, and we're already talking about M, and people already complain that they don't have Lollipop, so imagine how much they'll complain when another version comes out. And it doesn't, it doesn't make it easy for the, companies, because it's very hard to catch up.
Well, and not only that, but it was pretty lumpy. It was a pretty bumpy ride getting Lollipop out. Like, the more complex it gets, the harder it is to integrate. So you had a comment, Ryan?
Yeah, I got two in that one. So first off, yes, Lollipop is at 9%. And if you look at the historical data, which I've been charting over on our database page, you can see that it's actually at a faster rise for adoption than any other previous Android version right now. So as much as people want to say that's choppy or whatever, it still has been rolling along pretty good. What I don't like so much about this, and they did this last year with Lollipop, I don't think they should have. In all the previous versions, they didn't release or talk about the latest version until they released the Nexus, right? It was always around October or around then when they would release the Nexus, and they would just show you, okay, now here's KitKat, here's Jelly Bean, right? And last year with Lollipop was the first time they showed the version before it was going to be available, and I just felt like we were back in iOS camp where they'd come out, oh, look at this great device, and look at this great new iOS. It's not going to be up for another 7 months. Ciao. So I'd rather, so I guess that's that long tease, and I just don't like that. I'd rather, okay, here we go. Like,
want it now.
When it's ready, show it me then. I don't need to be teased and taunted all along, and then having blogs rant and rave and discuss and argue and for the next 5 months about what they think of what they thought they saw at that event, right? So.
I think everything's going that way, though. Pretty well everything is based on rumor, and all. What were you going to say, Martin?
Well, this brings another point where I was listening on a conversation on Hangout where they were discussing the Android release for itself, and they were saying that they wanted to have a major release of Android every 6 months. So
they don't want...
So apparently we're going
never catch up.
Manufacturers are being told use it as stock. If you do anything else but stock, it's your own problem.
So that's how they're doing the push-shove.
Hence the reason why you're seeing a whole bunch of updates coming out. Like even right now, we're at the 5.1.1 R2 release for the Nexus 6. And R3 and 5.1.2 is actually coming out in a month from now.
I think it's on Android One devices, they were saying, wasn't it?
No, I'm not too sure about that part. But I mean, Google's going to be pushing out and dishing out all these updates, and they're not going to let OEMs and catch up. They're just done with that.
I found when I had a Samsung device, a lot of those updates addressed problems that Samsung had already addressed. So it wasn't like the update was needed, but then you get all the people who have them and feel like they're being left behind because they're not on that number. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I guess it's one way for Google to make Android more iOS-like, in terms of control. So, rumors about Nexus. Where did you hear this, Ryan?
It's weird. I'm going to talk about Nexus rumors or any rumors in general. But yeah, I mean, we've been hearing for a long time that the Nexus is likely going to be made by the Huawei company, which I think is great. The fact that it's a company we haven't seen before. I like spreading the wealth around in the Nexus community. Huawei seems to have some really cool things, and it's never really came to the North American market really as it should have, I guess, in broad scope. Plus, we know that Google's going to go after that Chinese market, so that's where Huawei really is. So that really brings in that Google atmosphere, hopefully there. Now, the interesting thing we've been seeing lately, and Mark and I were just talking about this, is Android Pit has actually just been posting an exclusive that LG is considering making an LG Nexus 5 2015 edition, which I guess makes a lot of sense. It just goes against the grain of what they've normally done. They've never normally released like Moto's done, like the Moto X 2013, the Moto X 2014, or what I don't see personally, and it's not a confirmed thing. Although I think Nexus 5 was the best bang for the buck phone that was out there right now. And you know me, I'm an LG fan. I kind of like that idea of out there, but I really like to see what else other companies can do. So,
Martin, you have a comment.
Yeah, I mean, if I bring this back over to Android Pit, they said they had confirmed sources within LG that confirmed that they're actually highly looking into. Yeah.
That's like saying, I'm considering buying a Porsche. Am I buying a Porsche?
I bought one, so maybe it's going to happen.
Like I said to Ryan before the show,
I can't afford a Porsche. I don't have the cash money.
I was looking at my feed, and that's the only thing that's been going on for the last almost 2 hours is that.
But it's blog speak, right?
And it went from considering to it's happening.
It's the telephone game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a dishwasher.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, it's going to be they confirmed it, and then they're going to be making 8 versions in different colors, and it'll come with 3 different types of watches, or I don't know. Until I hear LG say, in their own words, that I don't believe that kind of stuff.
Well, that's why I would wait for just to see a press release from LG and just say.
I bet you. I mean, if you went and asked Motorola and you say, "Hey, Motorola, would you consider make a Nexus 6 2015 edition?" Yeah, we'd consider it.
Yeah, that's how you don't say no.
Right. Anyways.
Interesting. Well, we sort of drifted off of the Huawei Nexus. I think that having Huawei be the Nexus manufacturer would also enable them to bring the price of the Nexus back down, because I think a lot of people were kind of shocked at the price of the Nexus, and considering that they are generally not subsidized, they have to do something to bring down that cost. So let's move on. Well, speaking of LG, Ryan, there's an LG G4 contest.
Well, we talked about this consumer experience program a while ago, and so it's been officially announced on May 11th that if you go to trylg4.ca, you'll find that you can enter their little contest online, and you have to tell them why you think you want to be the LG G4 tester. And I think it's maximum of 500 words, why it is. And then what happens is they'll be picking randomly across Canada 35 people. And over 4 weeks that you get this phone, if you're picked, you have to try a variety of series of challenges. And I don't know what the challenges are going to be, but I'm assuming it's going to be using their camera. Something along that, just to be able to confirm that you're using it. And then what happens is after the 4 weeks, if you've done all the challenges, you have a chance to keep the phone, but win the phone after. So there's a chance. So, I mean, for anybody that's interested in doing this, yes, it seems like a low number, 35 across Canada, but when you consider in the U.S., they're only giving out 200, right? U.S. has 10 times the population we do. We are getting a higher per population or per capita free G4, so your chances of winning are better in Canada than they are in the US. So Canadian guys, you really should try this LG G4. You should go and sign up and really try it. I was told not to enter myself, but I'm very interested to see what people think.
And why were you told not to enter, Ryan?
I probably shouldn't talk about that yet. think Cass or someone.
Okay, well then we'll let Savon comment.
Are they going to choose the people randomly, or is it based on online visibility, or?
See, and that's the thing. I don't know.
Because
you have to log in with your Facebook or Twitter. You do have to log in with your Facebook or Twitter, and then from there you do have to comment about why you think you are.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, and that's all there is. There's no like share this on your social media, share this. It's just a matter of you can go online and check later on. I mean, I think they want to see your Facebook or Twitter profile so that they can follow your tweets and stuff about it later on, I guess.
Right.
But there's no discussion of how they're picking.
I'm surprised that they didn't include Instagram, because the camera seems to be something that they would like to promote.
Or Google Plus.
Well, Google Plus is being
Ghost
ignored
town.
often, but Instagram now is more popular than Facebook. So I was surprised that they didn't ask for that. I remember when Oppo was doing the N1 Pioneer program to promote the Oppo N1. So they asked for all the social media links, and they chose only 10 around the world. It still created buzz. So I think the 35 in Canada is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think so too. And that'll be interesting because they seem to be on a very quick upgrade cycle, LG does. Am I getting the wrong impression on that?
That's what? Sorry?
They seem to be on a quick upgrade cycle.
Like for the new phone?
LG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit early this year. It's a little bit earlier this year for the LG G4 than it was the G3 last year. I think the G3 was a little bit later. So, I mean, it's still the year, but it might be 11 months or 10 months instead of 12 months this year versus Sony's 6
Or maybe
months.
they're just teasing longer or something.
Maybe.
Because it just seems like you hear about these things for so long.
Yeah, I hate
And then when they get here, it's like, oh, well. Well, I have a topic too. After the unremarkable A4 tablet that Samsung put out, I guess they're getting the Tab S2 ready for release in June, which is only a month away, so this isn't too much of a lead time. And they're looking at a SIM card, a micro SD, 32 on board, and Super AMOLED, and a pretty high resolution with Lollipop out of the box. 3 gig of RAM, 2048 by 1536, with an 8 megapixel camera on the back. Ooh, and LTE connectivity. So what do you guys think?
That's decent.
Are you in the market for a tablet?
I'm not a fan of Samsung devices in general. Sorry, Cass. I mean, my son loves his tab, but my manager brought the to the office last week. Her Note 3 died. Her Tab 2 died. I revived both, but one of them died because the battery was just so depleted that it stopped working. And they were about to throw it in the garbage. I had to open it in the back. I had to disconnect the battery, let it rest a bit, let it charge for about half an hour. So I'm not crazy about the hardware.
Send it to me next time.
I fixed it, Ryan. I don't need to give it to you. I fixed it.
Something that people tend to forget too is when things get really flat, you do have to charge them from a wall. You can't charge them from a computer. You can't charge them from a USB port. You actually have to use the charger that came with the device.
Right.
And charge it properly. And I think a lot of people get used to, plug it into their computer, and they don't realize that.
No, but it wasn't reacting at all, so people get nervous. It doesn't come up.
That happened with my Moto 360 on the weekend. Like, it died all of a sudden. I was at supper, and then I'm going like, what the heck? Do I now have a kind of expensive paperweight for light paper? So, it's not that heavy, so you're not going to have that much paper under it. But I think that's what happened.
Get back to life.
Yep. And most things do eventually. But
Right.
electronics are really like big little black boxes. So you kind of wait and impatiently pressing the power button. But that aside, just talking about tablets in general, because I've been reading some stuff that people are not that engaged in tablets.
We have about
So-
4 or 5 at home, so I don't need any more. We just got a new LG one from my mother, and
We have two.
we have a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I was happy to discover that the LG one has a TV remote.
Oh, yeah.
It works well.
The G-Tab 8 or whatever?
The notepad? No. I forget what it's called. I got it from my mother.
I think that most of the Korean stuff does have the IR blaster in it because both Samsung and LG are Korean, and their stuff always comes with IR blasters. What are you poking there, Ryan?
My LG G3's IR blaster. It's a
Ah,
great little feature. Once you start having it on the phone, you really can't go back to using it not having it.
It's cool, yeah.
it is.
I don't think I've ever made any use of any of the IR blasters I've had on any of my phone.
Oh, I use mine.
I've set them up, but I end up not using them. But the time that I want to use them, it's there.
The TV already knows when to turn itself on. I don't have to do it.
Yeah, we have a Logitech Harmony.
Yeah, my Harmony is programmed to the wrong input, so then I need a tablet to just change the input.
We have one of those the little square ones, which I tell you is so awesome because we've got our we now have our Chromecast set up so that you just press a button and all the Chromecast stuff comes on, and press another button and we got our DVR, and it is nice. It's a nice feature. And I know you can do that as well with the software, I think with Peel that came with the IR blaster for Samsung. So people think those specs are okay. We have one person that won't buy a Samsung. We have me, who I would buy it if I was in the market for a tablet. Actually, I could see pairing that tablet with a Gear S and dumping the idea of a cell phone altogether.
Really?
Yes, really. I loved that Gear S. Loved.
All right.
Anyway, moving on. Siobhan, you had the Oppo 7, R7.
R7. Yes, it will be announced on the 20th, so we have a week to go, but some commercials got leaked and some press images got leaked, and it looks really cool. I won't talk about the rumors. I don't think there's a point. There's a lot of rumors. But what we do know from what was leaked is that there'll be the two models, the regular one and a very large R7 Plus that will have the fingerprint reader in the back. A great camera, it seems, the fast charger. So we'll have to wait for next week and tell you next week more about it.
I'm looking forward to hearing more. There's a large and extra large.
Yes.
That's fine.
And of course I want the extra large. Martin, you wanted to get one, right?
Yeah.
The extra large one?
Let's do it this way, Siobhan. If you happen to get a second one, just send it here.
Yes.
There's a lot of send it here things going on these days.
I've been
want a lot of things.
Yeah.
looking at the devices from Oppo, and I really like what they've done. So I'm really looking forward to actually being able to use one. So I'm considering an Oppo device as the next device whenever I get a chance.
And what do you say about that, Salon?
And apparently on Friday, the Find 7 will get an update to ColorOS 2.
Nice.
So that's exciting as well. Yeah, that's the rumor that it will be ready on Friday. Released for not. It will. Yeah, I'll have to flash it manually. It won't be over the air. So I'll let you know next week.
Pretty cool. And the last phone we want to talk about is Ryan. You were posting about the Yoda phone.
The phone, yeah. I mean, we've seen this. I think it was CES the year before, so it's been a while since we heard about the.
Yeah,
Yoda
this
phone
is the
too.
second version.
This is the second version, so we've been hearing for a while. And when you look at the specs that they just discussed today, they just announced, and on their website, the North American version will be available in May of 2015 on Indiegogo. So it would be a sort of Kickstarter, crowdfunding campaign to get it going. So they haven't discussed prices, but I look at the specs and it looks pretty. I wouldn't say last year, but definitely nothing current flagship level. So it'll be interesting to see sort of what they talk about it in terms of price. I'm just interested because, the idea with the Yoda phone, for those who haven't seen and can take a look at our link, it has that e-ink display on the back. So you could be watching do something, and then, you know what, I want to read that website, and I'll just flip it over to the e-ink display, and then I can, scroll through that and sort of save battery power, because e-ink uses, next to virtually nothing for battery, right? So anyway, so it's I think the Indiegogo starts on the 19th, I want to say, is when it said it was coming out. So
Do you know the price?
no idea on price whatsoever. So we'll find out when the campaign launches.
Well, it looks like it'll be one of the smaller format phones, and that in itself may be something that drives its popularity. A lot of people are getting kind of tired.
You might be right.
We tend to forget that if we do go with a bit smaller screen, we don't really need, my Sony is a smaller screen, and I think it's got lower specs, and you can't really tell on the performance end.
At the same time, if it's a small screen, you won't read a book, and then why do you need the ink?
Yeah.
Ink screen.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's more novelty than it is utility, is I think the comment I use.
Yeah, no, I get it on a larger device because it can be used as an e-reader, right? Like the Kindle with e-ink. But if it's a small device, then you're not going to read it off a small device like that. So what is it for, really?
The e-ink display is going to be a 4.7-inch at 960 by 540, so it's going quite back in a number of respects. But then again, it's supposed to be e-ink. It's not meant to be watching videos and looking at all your pictures. It's meant to be just simple text or whatever. Check your messages or whatever you need to. That you don't need to worry about color or whatever.
But Siobhan, speaking to your thing about reading, how cool would a tablet be that had that e-ink display on the back?
For sure. Because, then
I think I would get that because I take mine. I'm sitting there, I'm reading a whole book that takes me 4 hours, and to have an e-ink display would be awesome.
For sure.
So somebody has to make it so. Or we need to get a manufacturing plant together and take that idea and run with it.
Go. Raise money.
So, I think that about wraps up our topics. Brian, you had a review unit. You said earlier that you were sending a whole bunch of stuff back to the OEMs. What was your latest one?
So the latest one was the Dell Venue 8 7000 series, and I just finished reviewing that last night. I was up late last night finishing it off. So interesting. You guys can go visit the link on that. It wasn't for me, but it still has some pretty schmexy specs and stats and whatnot. It just came down to how it felt in the hand and how I felt while using it. But that's me. I'll let you guys go and read that. So
I'm kind of surprised because a lot of people said a lot of really good things about the Dell when it first came out.
It does. It feels slim. It feels sturdy. It performs. It lasts battery. It's great. Read the review. It just basically, I felt every time I felt using it, I felt like I was holding it wrong. So.
Yeah, you don't want a device that makes you feel inferior.
Or not interfere. Just matter like, why is this thing here? That little camera thing. Every time I'm moving it around, I feel like I'm not holding it in the right way. So, anyway.
Yeah. It was. I guess it was an interesting design for them. So. Yeah.
I make
And
no
I
use
did-
of the camera, so you can send it my way.
Even the camera, it's just the fact that you're holding it on this weird chin-like piece of the awesome aluminum all the way around, and then suddenly this cheap piece of plastic at the bottom that just was.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, just felt weird.
Send it
And
here, I won't complain.
I did check on Crave TV. It is for Bell Telus subscribers. So it's sort of like, I think it's like the on-demand service, not like Show Me. So Show Me is a paid service. This is more like the on-demand arm for those guys. Just in case people were wondering.
Thank you for
So I
checking.
guess that's it. Anybody got any closing words?
No.
Next
No.
week, I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about.
Sounds like.
And there's also, we didn't talk about the new Asus smartwatch rumors, so we can talk about that next week.
We'll have more
So
on that, yeah.
stay tuned. See you next week.
Yeah, should be lots of news. Hope to see you back. Say goodbye to everybody.
All right, take care.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend.